Old School Rally is basically a rally game. That's basically taking inspiration of older games that happen to be rally type games like, Thief Rally or maybe some of the Sega Rally games or anything else you can possibly think of. Old School Rally is basically one of those games that takes heavily inspiration as if you were playing in some sort of Dreamcast games. This game is not going to be for everybody as it pretty much requires you to get some skill and get some practice into how you play the game. It's said to be an arcadey game, but also has been tagged to be a 90s game, which Dreamcast happened to come out during that time. The game has plenty of CRT filters or any other options that you guys can play around with in case you want to feel, actual old schooly. The game's available on Steam as of right now in early access and is leaving early access in a pretty soon state. It is coming out on consoles as well on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo systems. You guys can pre-order them now if you guys really like to play this game and give it a try. The game has you go around courses and completing races with making sure you're able to beat the time limit. If you fail to beat the time, then, you have to start all over. And you're going to need some skill, practice, and everything else in order to master into what type of race or sort of thing that you'll have to deal with. The game supports local multiplayer up to 2 players, and you guys can play around and basically go against each other if you really want to. I think it's a good idea for it to be on consoles because it pretty much is the best experience to play with a controller rather than just a keyboard and whatever. Unless if you have some sort of driving controller like a steering wheel and a paddle and a gear shifting thing, little drifts and all that stuff. It's kind of like another great way to play the game if you happen to be into sports racing games that most people play these days. Now for the Steam version, they happen to have the Steam Workshop support. This doesn't mean you create your own cars, but you can create your own paint jobs for the cars itself. I just saw one that happened to look like Daytona USA, and you can actually apply to them in the game itself if you really want to. So that gives you an open creativity in terms of the cars, of its designs and whatever. You can make anything you want. There's a lot of different rallies you guys can choose to play, and there's also some daily challenges that will earn you some money. With the money, you can use it to unlock certain vehicles, but other vehicles you have to unlock them by completing certain rallies, like the rookie one for example. You have to work hard and master all the tracks, but here's the thing, the more damage your car happens to be received, the bad performance it does for your car, and meaning you're likely to lose. So the only thing is you're gonna have to get some practice in order to make sure that you actually finish these laps, because if you don't beat the best time, then you basically fail. If your car is too damaged, I recommend starting over. But depending on the difficulty, there is a repair shop for you guys to do. Now depending on the damage, it takes the time to repair your car, and once you're all said and done, then your car will be good as new in no time. But again, I will just say that not every car is going to be your friend. But the game does a pretty good job with the music, making it feel like you're playing an actual Dreamcast title game. In fact, some later homebrew games will go on to utilize that sort of sound like. But speaking of music, you can listen to the music player in the game itself if you really want to. You can also just challenge a random CPU or go head-to-head against each other if you really like to. And there's also a time trial mode if you guys want to try to test your time. Even though there is a CRT filter in the game, I just wish there was a 4x3 thing, which I think really would help make it feel like an old school game. Live into its name like any other old school games. But despite that, the music is pretty good and the tracks aren't too bad. The only thing is they're pretty difficult to master, but I think that's the biggest point of the rally games, is trying to master each track. If you guys want music in the game while you play, you can. But if you guys want concentration, then by all means, go right ahead and disable it. But that's up to you and your own preference. I mean, games like Dirt, for example, happen to have that sort of feature. It's also cheap to pick up the game itself as well for going around 20 bucks. I think it was 20 on consoles, but now since we're leaving early access pretty soon, I think this is a game you should look into playing if you guys like rally games like Dirt, Sega Rally. But yeah, there's different types of games you guys can play like this that are out there. But if you guys want a true old school way of playing games that look like a Dreamcast title, then I think this is a game you should look into. But you can also rebind some of the controls as well. But like I said, if you guys are going to get this on PC, it's the cheapest way as of right now, since it's in early access. But if you guys want to wait on consoles, we're not too far off from the game coming out, so let's just have patience for a little bit here. What was sad was that the game was delisted for a short time due to a DMCA takedown over the car models, but thankfully it came back right up shortly after. The game also still gets updates to add some brand new stages for you guys to play, and the game also has a first-person view if you guys want to race in that sort of way. As I know there are some racing games that has the first-person traditions or third-person, but that's just up to you guys as to how you want to play it. There's also different circuit ones where it requires a specific car for you guys to use. Because if you don't have that card, you won't be able to go to that rally. So my only thing is you're going to have to keep racing these different tracks, or at least these circuits I should say, for money, or you can complete daily challenges for even more money as well. It's not going to be a lot like the circuit ones they'll offer you it. But when you do complete these things, they do offer you a car or more money. But really both, I should really say. But it doesn't really tell you exactly the car, what it looks like. But currently right now, some cars have been taken out, but they will be brought back in a future update, which is a good thing. So different rally circuits will have a different certain amount of them. Some of them might be the same, but there may be some minor tweaks like the weather effects, or you could play in the dark or something like that. And there's even like some good details in the cars, like being able to see dirt whenever you land on, well, dirt environment on your vehicles, which I think is a pretty cool thing that they've added in there. And you can't say that they've never done that, because I've seen some games like on PS1 and Dreamcast that would do that, add in some different mud or something like that, all the effects on the vehicles itself. The weather effects, like the rain, isn't particularly the best, but they try to make it stand out for its old school name. So I will just say this, if you guys do like to feel, if you guys want to give this game a try out on consoles, a demo is available for you guys as of right now, and you can pre-order it as of now as well, if you're satisfied with the game itself at least. So all I can say is that if you guys want to play different types of racing games and that, you can give this one a try as well.